Hey everybody, Evan again, and this video is a review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. So the plot of this movie is after the events of Afterlife, all the young Ghostbusters are trying to get used to their new job as Ghostbusters while also obtaining some help from the old guys, and and Phoebe is now banned from being part of the Ghostbusters after she was involved in a lawsuit with another guy. So she really struggles. It's kind of that basic a teen getting grounded story. So she really has struggles and she really wants to still catch some ghosts while everybody else has fun. And me- meanwhile, there's other Ghostbusters getting of course, a bit of an accident. Ray and Podcast go through this ancient store with a bunch of ancient artifacts for them to study while they use their PKE meters to see if any of them are haunted. And this guy played Kumail Nanjiani gives them an orb which they try to examine, and they take it to with readings they can't read. So they go to a library and find this librarian played by Patton Oswalt to examine a bunch of cryptic messages, and the orb activates and it unleashes a powerful god called Garaka, and Garaka unleashes an ice age on New York City. So the whole city is frozen. Like everything's covered in ice. It's winter when it's supposed to be summer. Huh, that's basically the plot of Frozen. Isn't that funny? So all the Ghostbusters team up and try to stop Garaka and stop all the ice while Phoebe tries to prove herself that she is capable of being responsible with her new position. I'm gonna be honest. I liked this movie a lot more than Afterlife. Afterlife was good, but I'll get to that. But this was definitely a very worthy sequel. I think it was a definitely worthy of a fourth Ghostbusters movie. This honestly really should have come out in the summer. I know Afterlife got delayed due to COVID, but this I think would have been a great summer blockbuster. But you can't have everything, I suppose, because I really enjoyed this movie. It's everything you want about a Ghostbusters movie while also bringing a lot of new things into the mix. Because Afterlife was good. Like, I liked it. I mean, I did like it how it tried to recapture that 80s feel like Stranger Things by having it take place in a small town and even just the look of it. Although, that is kind of the thing. It doesn't really feel different enough. Because, like, you don't want with a franchise like Ghostbusters that's so beloved, you don't want the movies to be so different it's barely recognizable, but you don't want it to be an exact copy either. So that's where Afterlife felt like it tried a bit too much to be like a modernized 80s movie, also more so like an episode of Stranger Things. But this one, however, it feels like a blockbuster. Like the New York setting looks very modern, and lots of the big budget effects make it actually look very much like a modern day blockbuster. And that's what I really like about it. You can enjoy it without even caring about Ghostbusters. So I really give them credit for trying to find a good balance. Because yeah, lots of the effects, they're CGI, of course, because all the ghosts have to be CGI, and it's kind of like Afterlife, although I don't know if this had a bigger budget than Afterlife. I mean, I think it did, actually, because the Afterlife, the budget was only like, what, 70 million or something, so not that expensive. But here, like, you could tell they really upped the scale. Like, lots of New York looks great. You can see all kinds of sightings, and lots of the ice effects look absolutely amazing, and it looks very great. Like visually, it's incredible. It looks like a Ghostbusters movie without feeling like a pastiche of the originals, if you get what I mean. And I also forgot to mention, there's also this one subplot where there's this ghost girl that one of the young Ghostbusters kind of Phoebe, Phoebe develops a friendship with, and it makes for some nice moments. Like you actually do feel their bond, and it does. It's definitely the heart of the movie, and a lot of that. Phoebe is the heart of both this and Afterlife, mostly because she's the daughter of Egon, and as we all know, Egon it wasn't in this or Afterlife because unfortunately Harold Ramis is dead. So it really does make you think that, well, Egon would have been proud of Phoebe taking her job, his job, because it's even though she gets in trouble in this movie with someone, she at least does her darndest and just helps everybody. Because the Ghostbusters movies, as goofy as they are, they do have a lot of the teamwork aspect is what makes a lot of them work, and it's definitely the aspect of this one because unlike the other Ghostbusters movies, what's interesting about this and Afterlife is that you have a bunch of different age groups. So you kind of get a good variety of people looking out for each other and people trying to be protective of of children, and there's people trying to look out even for their authority figures. So I like how there's a mix of different age groups in this new Ghostbusters team. I mean, it might sound weird, but it does add to the heart of it because, well, children are definitely easy for audiences to feel emotionally attached to, kind of like animals, how people always don't want dogs to die in movies. And yeah, I think this movie does a very successful job at trying to feel like a Ghostbusters movie, and it doesn't really have that same. It doesn't have that dry humor or necessarily that the original movie did, but it does kind of have its own like fun, kind of quirky improv type comedy, which I guess that works if it wants to be more modern. Patton Oswalt is in the movie he has a pretty big role, and I always like Patton Oswalt. He's one of those actors that I always like to see, even if the movie or show itself isn't good, he's one of those actors that always makes the movie at least a little bit better. And he's in the movie a good amount. I think, and he definitely brings a lot of the humor into this movie. He was definitely very funny. Um, Kumail Nanjiani, he was also fun to see. I think he does get a couple good laughs, and it's just overall a really extremely fun movie. It's definitely didn't feel like a Ghostbusters movie we've seen before. Like they actually had a new plot, not just them trying to stop a typical giant monster or having them be in York and just fighting ghosts in their car all the time. No, the whole setting of being a frozen wasteland was really interesting, and it felt basically like a long episode of a cartoon. Like you know that show, The Real Ghostbusters. I never watched it, but like I'm pretty sure each episode of that show they had a different scenario revolving ghosts, and that's what made this cool. I think it really tried to be something new, and it was a really good addition to the Ghostbusters franchise. And to be honest, it actually makes me even more excited if they make another Ghostbusters movie. Because when I saw Afterlife, I was like, okay, I'm up for more Ghostbusters stuff. And this, yeah, I think it's better than Afterlife, and it's aside, I'd say probably aside from the original, it's my favorite Ghostbusters movie. So that's saying something. Yeah, I really, really liked this movie. I mean, it wasn't Dune Part 2 good, but I still really liked it. So, yeah, if you're interested in Ghostbusters Afterlife or if you're a fan of the franchise, I think this is a must watch. If you have nothing to do this spring, I think this is a very good movie to see. It's fun for the whole family. Like, it's not like it's pretty family friendly. There's nothing super edgy in it. Actually, it's not even really much worse than the original Ghostbusters movie. It's kind of on par with Ghostbusters 2. So, I think it's probably okay for most kids. So, it's a good one to take families to. So, I had a blast with this movie. I don't know if it'll be in my top 10 by the end of this year, but it could make an honorable mention. Who knows? So, yeah, I really enjoyed Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Now, I got a lot of trailers this time. There's this one theater that actually shows a heck of a lot of trailers, so that probably explains why. For the trailers, I got Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Yeah. Yes, Beetlejuice 2 is literally called Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. So, is it going to be a trilogy and the third one's going to be called Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice? Like, it's such a stupid name for a title. But I'm more interested in this one than I am curious. I mean, Beetlejuice is one of my favorite comedies, but it's never the movie I really felt screamed, it needs a sequel. I mean, with under the right circumstances, I think it could work. But I'm definitely interested. And Tim Burton returned to direct. that's a good sign. So I will see it. Wouldn't say I'm hyped, but I do want to see it. I got If. I'm still pretty interested in this. Weirdly enough, it was the trailer, but it was short. Like, I don't know why some movie theaters do this when they show. Like, I remember I think around when I saw Frozen 2, when they showed the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog, they cut out a lot of the scenes. This was the same aspect where it was the trailer for If, but lots of the scenes were cut out and it was really short. It was weird, but anyway, if I'm kind of interested in this one, it John Krasinski has proven to be a good director, so yeah, I'm curious to see what this is about. I know what it's about, but I'm curious to see how it plays out, I guess I should say. I got A Quiet Place Day One. Again, this was also a short trailer. Well, it wasn't like cut or anything, but it was like literally like a super short trailer. This one I am curious about. The Quiet Place movies were pretty good, and so a prequel does seem interesting to see how it all began. So they didn't show much because this was only like a few seconds, but I did see the actual trailer, I think, and it does look quite good. So I'm definitely curious about it. I got The First Omen. This was also another short trailer, but like I didn't really see much about this. I've heard of this movie, but I don't know much about it, so a brief trailer didn't really do much for me, so I don't really have anything to say. I got Despicable Me 4. This could be good. Will Ferrell's playing the villain this time, so and Will Ferrell is usually quite good. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with him I disliked, so hopefully this is a sign that this could be good. So, and these movies are fun, so I'm up for it. I got Borderlands. I'm curious about this one actually. I think this looks like a blast. I especially love the visual look to it. Like it visually looks really good. Like I love all the bizarre color palettes the trailer has. Like lots of the shots just look something. I know it's a video game movie, but it looks like a comic book. Like it looks really great. I don't know if it'll make up for I don't know if it's trying to hide the fact that it has a really poor story and writing, but I it does have some talented people in it, so I'm willing to give it a shot. I got The Fall Guy. I'm excited for this one. It's David Leitch has proven to have a great track record, and I love movies about making movies, so I what more can I want? I got the Garfield movie. Surprisingly, this wasn't the new trailer. This was the first trailer that came out last year. But I am definitely looking forward to this movie because I love Garfield, so I'm definitely seeing this. And I got Harold and the Purple Crayon. Wow, this movie has been in development for so long, hasn't it? Like, I swear, this movie was announced, like, has it even been more than 5 years ago? And I don't know about this one, actually. I mean, I know it's based on a children's book, which I don't recall if I've ever read it, but I've seen the cover of it a million times, and maybe I don't remember much about the story, but it's weird. Zachary Levi's playing Harold. And I can only just picture the cover, but correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Harold supposed to be a small child? Like, I remember on the cover, he was like a bald kid with two strands of hair like Charlie Brown, and he wore like a blue onesie. So, is he like a baby or something? And this one, he's a grown man, which is strange. But the movie itself, uh, it doesn't look bad. I mean, that's overall what I can say about it. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it kind of does have a unique. Well, the concept's not unique. It's based on a children's book, and also it's the same plot as Chalk Zone and that one episode of SpongeBob, drawing stuff and then it comes to life. But I guess we've never seen that really done in live action, so maybe if we could get some good, cool visual effects with that. But maybe if anything, I might just stream it if I'm bored. Like, it doesn't look bad, but I don't know if it's something I'd rush out to see, so. Yeah, but who knows? Maybe it could be good, pretty good. So, or maybe it'll be a dud. I guess we'll never know until we see. But Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, it's a good movie. If you're a fan of Ghostbusters, well, there's no reason to miss out on it. And if you liked Afterlife, I think this is a totally a worthy follow up to it, and definitely a good way to start off the movie season because we also have Godzilla X Kong now, which I hope to see in the next few days. So we're starting to get the bigger movies this year. So we're starting to head into blockbuster territory. So it's good. That's always when the best movies come out in the summer. So the spring is like a hand out of the hole. Summer is out of the hole, and that's where it unleashes all the blockbusters. So yeah, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. I definitely recommend this one. It's a lot of fun and it's enjoyable. It's silly, but it's pretty much everything you'd expect on a Ghostbusters movie. So take care, everybody.